Alright guys, hey, just got something really cool in today. All you guys are going to know all about this. Peter Collier, dark timber knives. I got a honey badger. Anyway, yes, I can barely contain my excitement. Now I know everybody's going to be doing, forgive the messy garage by the way, everybody's going to be doing these usage videos, so I thought, you know what, let's do something different. Let's go ahead and do a box opening. I haven't even opened the outer box yet. I just got it about an hour ago. And so I'm going to reposition the camera in a second and get it so it's looking right at the table, and we're just going to open it up and see what it looks like, get some first impressions. I'll probably redo things, you know, move things around again at some point so I can show it to you, but we'll look at it at one angle. Actual box opening. I know it's kind of silly for a knife, but on the other hand, everybody's going to do usage stuff. Chris Tanner's going to do, you know, one that's going to probably be better than anything I could possibly imagine because he knows way more about knives than I do. So, you know, that kind of thing, everybody's going to be doing that, and I'm going to do it as well at some point, but thought, you know, first impression thing, pop it out there, let people see. So, hang on. I'm going to move things around and then we'll get started, okay? Hold on. All right, here's the box. Go ahead and give her a shot here. This will be the biggest knife that I've ever had as far as a, there's your receipt from Knives Shipped Free. Toss box away. There's your Dark Timber Knives logo. You can't forget that dark timber. So we got, I thought it was cloth for a second, but it's some kind of a weird material. There's part one of sheath. That's the dangler. Set that box aside. So here's obviously in the sheath. Of course, you're always going to do that. I got just the honey maple. I looked real hard at the ironwood, but I like the lighter colors. So there you go. Dark timber. See if that'll come in nice and clear. Nice. So it's a Kydex sheath, and I don't know if you saw any of that. Fairly minimalist, but what I understand, good retention. And the way this is set up, I imagine that you would be able to do all sorts of different things with it. And if you really wanted to, you could probably do a tack lock, I would imagine. Danglers probably makes the most sense for something this size. Wow, it's really amazing. I mean, I expected a knife this size to be a lot heavier, so right away that's one first sort of impression thing is, you know, that it's nowhere near as heavy as I thought it was going to be. So definitely want to see what it does with batoning and stuff. I know, knowing Peter, look at there you go. See if you can see it. Can you get that in there? I don't know how close this thing focuses, but that's a pretty substantial blade. I mean, geez. Nice heft in the hand. And then having the choil in the front. And that's just about, wow. I generally have pretty good sized hands. That's just about perfect for me. So being able to do small stuff shouldn't be a problem. And then you got this nice, that now that's interesting. You got a little bit of a raised edge, which means you can, you know, if you have to, you can pound on something if you really wanted to, if you really had to, and it would, it's not going to mess up the scales. The other nice thing about the scales, and again, I already knew this going into the idea, but on the one side, be careful with this thing. Of course, every knife I've ever owned, I've cut myself with eventually, because you always, the one thing about knives is you use them and you use them and you use them, especially a specific one that you use a lot, and you get complacent. I know everything about this knife. I know exactly what to do with it. And the next thing you know, you're going, ow! Let's see if we can get the oh man. Yeah, that edge is, and there were videos of Peter actually doing some sharpening of these by hand before the scales went on and stuff. How many he did, and whether or not I actually got one in my hand that he actually sharpened, I don't know. But this thing, you know, wow. Oh, I was talking about, so on this side, the screws are inset a little bit to one side, and then on the other side, they're flathead screws. But boy, this thing is nice. This really is. I have a Becker BK2, which is sort of my go-to knife that I've had for years, and I don't even have it currently. I've got somebody making a leather sheath for me, so I had to send it to him. But wow, this thing is just awesome. I know a lot of guys got the 1911. It was a real hard decision for me. I couldn't afford both. I could only get one, and it was a really super hard decision. And I thought to myself, you know what? For once in my life, I'm going to get something. I mean, I never really would have thought, being more of a prepper. I'm not a survivalist. I'm not a, I don't seriously camp anymore like I did in years past. And back in those days, you know, you got whatever you could get off the shelf, and you beat it until it broke, and then you got another one or something different. These days, a lot different, the way the steels that they make, and the different, here's the logo again. I don't know how close this thing, pretty cool little logo. I don't know how close this thing will focus. I don't want to get too close. Anyway, I mean, first thing in the hand, just unreal. And like I said, I'm really surprised. I have to, I don't know. I'm really surprised, because I think my Becker, now the Becker's thicker than this way, width-wise. Now, it's bigger this way. I'm not sure. I'd have to get the exact specs on the size. I think it's a little shorter than this. The Becker just seems to me that the Becker was a lot heavier than this, but maybe this is my imagination. You know, fit and finish and stuff on this, obviously. Wow. I mean, look at the liners and stuff and the way everything lines up. I mean, wow. And it's kind of, can you see how it's thick here? So just your hand. Now, Peter, I know, because Peter's a big guy. He's probably got big hands too. So, I mean, but for me, that's just wow. I love it. 9 times out of 10, when I get a knife, one of the first things I'm looking for is to either upgrade the sheath. Not always, you know, depending on circumstance. The Becker, for instance, horrible sheath. I've got a Kydex, and then I eventually wanted to get a leather for it. But I have a feeling it might have been premature, because I have a feeling, at least initially, I'm not going to want to do anything but mess with this knife. But, it's almost more of a finesse thing. Wow, it's just amazing. You have to have one. You got to get one. And I'll have to play with this one and use it for a while before I really decide what else I'm going to do with it. Whether or not I'm going to consider, you know, using this as a, you know, an everyday knife. It won't be an EDC, no way. So the question is, does Peter have, I don't know, it even fits really well this way, you know, backwards. Wow. Anyway, let me finish up. And first impressions are, wow. Second impression is super camp knife, but this is just unreal. I mean, this is this thing that, you know, this will go in the will for my son. So, but it's pretty amazing. The real thing, and again, that choil there is, for me, for my right hand, that is perfect. I mean, it just fits perfect in there. Perfect. So that's a big deal. And then the regular part, you know, so it's just perfect for my hand playing with this. This is a phenomenal knife, Peter. This is just unbelievable. So this, Peter, out of the ballpark, no question about it. I know you've got custom stuff that probably blows this away, but for something that's not custom, not fully one-off custom, look at that. I think I did cut myself. Good. It is christened. It is a real knife. It's got blood on it somewhere. I'll have to look at it. I think I nicked myself a little bit on the choil here, but that's okay. Yep. It looks like there's a little blood there. Good. That's what, and that's good because now I've cut myself on it. Maybe I won't cut myself again. But anyways, it's a beautiful knife. It's perfect. And that was the only reason I cut myself on the choil wasn't the choil, it was at the top of the choil. And that's only because I was playing with it rather than, being careful and using it for its intended purpose. I've been showing it to you guys and that's what happens. But good knife, wonderful. Can't wait to try it out in real life. And I have the distinct feeling this is definitely going to become my new favorite knife. I can already hear my other knives over here. They're all crying right now. I think they're yelling, Jezebel, Jezebel. That might have to be the name of this one. It's a honey badger. It might have to be Jezebel. I'll think about that. But there you go. And I've never named a knife before, ever. The only unanimate object that I have ever named were motorcycles, Harleys. Those are the only things I ever named. I don't name cars. I don't name anything. But I think this knife has to have a name. I think so. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Fantastic knife. Unbelievable.